I will pick my favorite leader, and
Ooh.
that's Johnny J. Jamerson.
Well, the good news is we can combo pretty much anything with him.
Yeah. Well, this is really good. I oh, I'm so excited for this. It's still surprising to me, and depending on how you edit this, I like to cut videos when they start, like right when we start finding players. And it still surprises me that this game is 7 years old, Naka, and we've queued for what, 5 seconds and we found a match?
It was pretty quick, and 2v2 especially is pretty reliable. Now, I don't have very high MMR in 2v2s as I mostly just play the once, right? So that
Mm.
makes it a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, the game's certainly not dead. That's just facts.
Yeah, so we had a couple of topics that I think we wanted to hit on for these videos here because you're such a great resource to get like in the minutia, if you will, with Halo Wars, because obviously you worked on it and you're so familiar with a lot of Microsoft RTSs. And we were just talking before we recorded Halo Wars 2. It's 7 years old, right? And
Hmm.
its resiliency is like shocking to me. Like how many people still watch. I mean, Meta Plays, your RTS project, does really well with Halo Wars tournaments. We obviously aim for the casual side and we do really well. It's I love it. I love how resilient this community is. What are your thoughts like 7 years in that it's
Yeah,
still going
man.
strong?
I mean, resilient is the right word, unlike that jackrabbit I just destroyed. Never had a chance. But besides that, look, this community, people come and go, right? But
Mhm.
they do a lot of lot of coming, right? There's so many people that just keep joining because of Game Pass or whatever, and that's fantastic to see. Like,
Right.
I never expected that to be such a big deal, but it is. People just want to try out all these bigger names that are on the Game Pass, and it's been a big help to this community, I think.
I think some people even forget that I think, what also sucks too is I kind of stumble over my words here as I gather my thoughts is I think Halo Wars 2 may have had a little bit of poor timing because Game Pass launched like what in the middle of 2017, I want to say.
Oh
So
yeah.
like Halo Wars 2 was not a Game Pass game. It was like over a year, I think, before it came to Game Pass. And that was a big deal. But I think what's even a bigger deal today is games hit on Game Pass day one. So I wonder, like, would we be hearing about a Halo Wars 3 if Halo Wars 2 was on Game Pass? Because obviously more people would be playing it. I don't
Well,
know.
this whole thing is a topic that I actually covered in one of the videos on my personal channel.
Oh, cool.
In the sense that there were several business decisions that just didn't make as much sense for Halo Wars 2's launch, like not putting it on Steam, like not having
Hmm.
crossplay immediately, and just rushing the game out, and not
Yeah, it
having
didn't have
replays
crossplay. I
and
forgot
spectator
about
mode.
that.
Yeah, like remember the first tournaments that actually Breaking the Clutch hosted, I believe, was like
Uh huh.
it was a 2v2 where people had to resign at the beginning. And then you got a 1v1 off of that weirdo map. I mean, yeah, not the best. Not the best thing. You
Yeah,
didn't have
yeah.
any tools to spectate with either, so yeah, rough beginnings.
Jeez. Yeah,
But at
that
least
really
we got Game
sucks.
Pass in the end, and that's been a lifeline for the game. I love that that has been a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people have got, obviously picked the game up because of Game Pass. So for those who are unaware on the TR side, Naka was a developer on Halo Wars 2,
That's right.
and so you know a lot of inside info about the game. So did I think I know the answer to this, but they did talk about a Steam release, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah, it was
So why
actually something that was cancelled.
do you know why? Like was there a reason?
We weren't privy to that information,
That's fine.
but you can assume that Microsoft just wanted to focus on their primary self-owned platform, the store.
Yeah. I think their tone has changed a little bit since then.
Very much so.
Oh, Oh, Shitina. Okay. Let me drop a bunker.
I'm getting doubled.
That was a poor bunker drop on my part. You might lose your hero because of it. Shite.
Yeah, my hero's toast. You can't
I'm
escape the
sorry.
chosen like that. It's okay.
That's gonna go in the cringe compilation on my part.
I'm getting very doubled.
Yeah. I have, they need to go anti-manti soon. EMP macro heals in this situation.
I would say we can EMP Mac those mariners. I'm
Okay.
also doing a Sui drop, which is not something I do very often, but you do what you must because you can.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
You know, that, oh my gosh, that actually worked pretty good.
I think those are fake. I think I messed
Oh,
up.
fake news? Oh,
Yeah, they were fake
shiting.
news.
Damn it. Okay.
So yeah, I was a core designer on the game, which basically means that gameplay designer, just creative assembly's word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, it was. It was. Obviously, there were things that I would have liked to see that didn't happen, but it was like truly an honor. I got to do stuff around the AI of the game. So like the strategies that the skirmish AI does, that was me. You know, we did the best we could with what we had in a very short amount of time. Sadly, very little time to actually patch it, but I think it's like doing some stuff that is helping people learn how to play the game. Anything beyond that wasn't really the goal.
I think there's a point in which from the outside looking in, it looks like it can sometimes be very difficult to mimic what real players do. And so, you know, I make a series on the AI battles in Halo Wars 1 because someone made a spectator mode in Halo Wars 1.
Oh, really? Wait, what?
Yeah, so it's like it's kind of similar to the way that BTC did it. You have to pick like 2s or 3s, and then you select a leader in which you don't have anything. You don't have a base or anything, but you're not eliminated. So it's impossible for you to lose. So you just kind of moving around the map. It's
Right,
effectively
gotcha.
what you're doing. And the AI is so stupid in Halo Wars 1. It's actually annoying.
Yeah, I mean, having seen the actual scripts for that, it was a hot mess. Like, what we're talking about is essentially people making a giant spaghetti out of visual scripting, and it wasn't very nice to work with.
Yeah.
So what we did immediately, there's by the way a GDC talk on this, is we scrapped the entire thing, and we made our own system. So a lot of it was C++ based, and then whoa, getting a lot of action here.
Yeah, we're getting sharted on currently.
It's gonna be fine. We have an upgraded chosen here. Beam.
Oh my goodness!
Beam,
Oh,
beam,
that
beam,
is
beam, beam.
my boots, Naka. Holy shite!
Are they brimmed?
They are brimmed.
10 out of 10, mate.
Oh, let's get that. Yes, we got their Atriox. Chosen, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, we got rid of the spaghetti. We put most functionality into C++, and the strategies were turned into some XML tables, very simple to edit, text files as you will, and that was very nice to work with. Like any designer could learn it in hours. I was actually teaching the level design team who made the campaign how to do it, so even the campaign AI is using these. The AI can micro, that's done by code. And in terms of the strategies, I tried to optimize the build orders as much as I could in the short time we had. So it will be very easy now to go back and with modern knowledge update those, but I was never given the time to do so. That's what I'm complaining about.
Yeah. So I'm begrudgingly recording the Halo Wars 2 campaign because I'm gonna eventually drop
Ooh.
the whole campaign as one video, which I did that for Halo Wars 1. So the campaign. It's my first time playing it since launch, and I hate to complain about it, but I really don't like it.
What's the worst part of it?
The beams. It drives me nuts. Oh my god, it is so absurd. And also, they don't. It seems like in campaign, they have launch day cost and pop. Like it's not reflected from the changes in matchmaking. Like Warthogs, I think are like 350.
And they have like terrible stats. Like the vehicles and the anti-infantry is absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
With launch balance, and the reason it was done like that. So basically, everything is split. If something changes in multiplayer, then the assumption
Damn it,
was.
Pyman.
It's all Pyman's fault.
No one's listening. I'm telling him to move them.
I'm sorry, I don't have bulwark. I'm gonna not get it as 5th point.
I only lost one Manti.
But I get it as 6th.
Sorry for interrupting.
No worries. That was important.
Oh, Shaitana, hang on.
It's all hunters, like we're mighty fine here. Oh! Hey, by the way, TR crew, here's a little trick. You can shoot an air unit and then rapidly shoot a ground unit with the Chosen. It will reset his animation.
Oh, really? Oh my god. I didn't know that.
That's true of most heroes, to be honest.
I know you can do it with the Jackrabbit, of course.
With the Jackrabbit, you can just move and shoot. With the Chosen, you have to aim at an air unit and a ground unit after. So it's a little different between the two.
Okay, so you were saying that the scripting is a little different between. There's a reason why it's different between campaign and matchmaking.
Sorry, it's not really the scripting; it's the actual unit balance. So the assumption was that if stuff changes in multiplayer, then suddenly the core game won't be working with what was designed for the campaign specifically. So there was fear of the gameplay flow changing as multiplayer balance changes, and so that was separated out completely. I'm not sure if I agree with this decision to this day. Many RTS games do this to just make sure that it's a consistent experience, and stuff like that is important for like speedrunning communities and the like.
Yeah.
But would I say that it was necessary for Halo Wars 2? Probably not. Take that.
I like that.
Boom shakalaka. And now the beam for all these weak hunters.
Oh,
goodbye.
Oh no, James. Oh.
Yeah, if James can still hear this.
Did you hear him? He's trash talking. He's trash talking
his own mate.
I love that. He called him a moron. That's hysterical.
Did he make a typo and call him a morno? Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He's gonna quit.
Oh my god. That's hilarious. Okay, run.
So, I mean, let me, I guess, clarify, and I kind of go into detail whenever that video launches, the walkthrough, explain my pain with it, is I don't understand why the AI gets so many beams. And it's not that, like, I feel like it kind of, it's trying to inflate the difficulty in such a way. It's not that I can't split or dodge out of it, because, you know, I can. I know how to do that. It's just, they honestly will get it back in, like, 120 seconds. And
I think the launch balance on that timing might have been different, but I'm not 100% sure. But also the AI, one of the best things it can do is actually leader power targeting. Like that's probably the thing it's best at, as well as trying to dodge leader powers. That's the two things it's particularly good at.
Well, it's also it will beam even when it doesn't have line of sight. It's just at least it's what it seems like to me. I mean, it's.
Oh, right. I think in Mission 4...
that's what we just did.
There are some beams that are actually just scripted and not belonging to the actual AI player. Yeah. So that is actually the case. Yes, you're correct.
I'm sorry, it drives me nuts. Because I feel like... We're playing on Legendary, of course, but I feel like the regular players, like, it's just infuriating because it's like... The game, he's calling his teammate shit. I love that. The game is like, you know what? You spent all this time for these units. I'll just take them from you. it's just annoying. Like it doesn't really add any value to the mission, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and there, especially at launch, there were a bunch of missions that weren't really respecting the player in that sense. Like there were a bunch of bugs where both AI players were able to control beams, and then you got double leader powered and whatever.
Right.
On
right.
cooldown, of course. But yeah, let's continue in the next game.
Okay. Let me go over here. I apologize. All right. So the follow up, if we're cutting these videos together, which I believe we are.
We are.
Please be Sentry. Damn it.
Ah. Oh. Well, that's a lot of elites.
It is a lot of elites everywhere. So we were talking about the AI in Halo Wars, particularly the campaign in Halo Wars 2. So when you say that you worked on the AI, that doesn't necessarily mean you worked on the campaign AI. Is that correct?
I trained the level designers on how to use it, but not directly, no. Like, they made the decisions, I just told them how to get that done.
Yeah. So I think the AI for Halo Wars 2 is fine. The problem, I said this in the last game, but I'll kind of repeat it for the sake of clarity, is they drop these glassing beams like 10, 15, 20 times in a campaign mission.
Yeah, we just briefly talked about it. I think the team has overrated how that's fun to play against. It's not really fun to play against. It's necessary for competitive, but when you drop scripted beams that are outside of the AI's control on top of the AI controlled ones, that is too much. It resets the player's units that they worked hard to build early in the campaign too. So it's like kind of frustrating.
Well, what really bugs me is like, again, you spend all this time building these units, and then the game's like, I'm going to take these from you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really add anything to that particular mission that's fun to counter against, on top of all the other shit you got to counter against with the objectives of the mission themselves. On top of that, the game is not very good in notifying you when your stuff's under attack. So, and I even fell for it when we were playing the campaign, where I lost everything to the beam and it never told me my stuff was under attack.
Yeah, because Halo Wars 2 doesn't actually telegraph on the minimap or on the battle feed that you're currently facing leader power somewhere.
Right.
It doesn't do that. That was something actually I really wanted to have in the game as a system, but we never got it, sadly. UI budget was tight.
There's some interesting things too that like they added post-launch, like the ability for me to see what you're looking at. That was added post-launch.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
like
think
I'm
pretty
seeing your
late
camera
post-launch, if I remember right.
It was one of the last things added, along with like the attack move and hold position and that stuff.
What was it? Oh yeah, so attack move is you hold down X.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I actually did that on accident for the first time, like just a couple of weeks ago. It was really embarrassing. Okay, you're gonna hate this, Pyman, we're here. I'm gonna build another gen and then tech up and then build a mega turret.
Dude, they just got rid of my ghosts. That is annoying. I'm gonna double gen then.
Pat gen, if you will.
Well, I had a barracks to clean this up, but they're now trying to steal our base. That is brave.
Yeah, I don't think I'll stand or sit for that, to be honest with you.
It's not allowed, this Andy.
So do you think for the AI in Halo Wars 2, do you think if there was more time for the game to cook, we would have a better both multiplayer AI and campaign AI?
Especially multiplayer. I don't think the campaign would have been touched up. I think if there had been much more time, there would have been a big expansion, like that Forerunner stuff that was cancelled.
Oh, interesting. Like was there a planned Forerunner faction?
Yeah, you must have seen the concept art.
I think I have a copy of all the concept art. But you know, like they even had that kind of stuff for Halo Wars 1 as well. So like, because like they had flood stuff for Halo Wars 1 in some of the concepts, like infected. That was a horrible move by them. Infected, like barracks and stuff. I think that would have been cool. So, like, would it have been a banished leader, or would it have just been a full third faction?
No, that's a faction.
I like that.
It was gonna be a big DLC. Oh, they're doing it again, bruh. What is this guy thinking? Anyway, so yes, that was gonna be a full-blown faction, and it was gonna be a DLC. However, basically, it was deemed too valuable as a DLC, and they wanted it for Halo Wars 3 then, but then Halo Wars 3 fell through. So, yeah, lots of sedge.
You know, some people... I don't really know how to feel about the Halo Wars 3 pitch, and you can... There's actually, I think, like a...
Oh my god! My
wow. Wow. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I think there's a Kotaku article, perhaps, about the Halo Wars 3 pitch. Some website has wrote about it and has some screenshots of concept art. But I actually don't think Space Battles would have done Halo Wars a lot of justice.
Oh no, I'm actually... I don't know if I said this publicly, but I'm glad that the game was canned.
Like, can you imagine going from Halo Wars 1 and Halo Wars 2 being very similar mechanically to the third game just being Space Battles? Like, I think that should be a different spin-off series, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, and it's not just that. Like, it was not just that. There was more stuff that I actually was talking about, but the game was gonna be simplified a lot in terms of what's doable in it and what isn't, and how you control your army and how you don't. I won't talk about details, but there was going to be a lot of automation and simplification, and I don't think I would have considered it a true RTS anymore.
Yeah.
I hated that the directors did that, but I don't think that's the reason why it was cancelled. I think the reason it was cancelled was because 2 just didn't perform as well as Microsoft had hoped. Obviously, the blur cutscenes are super expensive. Right, so there's expectations with that.
Yeah, do you think that like they kind of almost dug their own grave because the Halo Wars 1 had blur cutscenes, and so like, well, we gotta have it for 2.
Yeah, pretty much that. You got it.
That kind of sucks. Well, you know, sometimes there's things that are out of your control. Again, I think it's a little bit of a timing issue. I said that in the first game or first video we just did, where I think, you know, maybe if Halo Wars 2 came out when Game Pass had exclusives come out on day 1, it'd be a different story. I think there's a lot of things. Of course, a Steam release would have helped a lot for Halo Wars. You know, I think there have been a lot of mistakes made over the years that has kind of buried this this poor franchise here.
Yeah, hard to agree on that. Hard to agree.
But yeah, it's you know, it's great. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. I wonder also too, like, do you think Microsoft could make some sort of studio? Or even have the Age of Empires guys, World Edge, take over maintaining Halo Wars, or even perhaps make a third game.
I think they could contract someone else to get both of those things done, yes. Do I think it's likely to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
I think there's value in maintaining Halo Wars 2, though. Like, this game is gonna do okay if released to Steam. It will definitely more than make its cost back several times. So that is what I think should be the aim.
And we have both really pushed for that in the past.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we really did a push publicly a couple of years ago where we got all of the content creators together. And even a lot of just general Halo fans to be like, yes, this should come to Steam.
And I mean, the petition, how many signatures did that thing get? Like 8,000 by now or more?
Yeah, something like that. 8,000. I mean, it still gets signatures, surprisingly, from time to time. I'll check it every few months. Yeah, it is a shame. And I wonder too, like, maybe some of the woes with Halo Wars are kind of why there's similar woes with Age 4 right now. And what I mean by that is Age 4 doesn't have a lot of content right now, and I think that's why the game is not very popular at the moment.
Ah, I messed up my mine detonation. Damn it. Maybe the
Try
next
to
one.
get teleported.
But yeah, it's gonna take a long amount of time for Microsoft to ever get around to this again. I think when they do,
Yeah.
they'll regret what they've done in terms of not maintaining things, because then they'll have to reboot everything again, and that takes effort and time. That yeah, like I said, they're gonna regret
thank
it.
you.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
helpful. Yeah.
Wait, did you do that?
No, they did.
Oh,
That's
okay.
actually helpful.
Yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess you, I don't know why I asked if you did it. I'm kind of an idiot. You can't displace allied units, but, see, there's my small brain not working.
That's okay, Andy. Sometimes I mess up stuff live. Like, during one of the tournament streams, I've mistaken Unbreakable for just shield shimmers because I've only was looking at one unit.
Yeah.
That was actually very recent.
I'm actually uploading. I'll mix and match uploading like new content and old content now because I think actually some of the old content's really good. So like I'm working my way through a stream that Pibe and I did back in 2019, and some of the things I say are just comically stupid.
But that's part of the charm, right?
It is. It is. It's funny to laugh at, and but I think I said this last time we recorded too. Is that did Halo Wars 2 get some sort of UI refresh like part of the way through? Because I feel like
Oh, that. At the
way you-
beginning, yeah.
yeah.
So,
Do you know why they did that?
yeah, so basically what you saw in the beta, that was working off of the Halo Wars 1 UI, surprisingly.
Oh, cool.
And it did not work very well. We needed some stuff from it, and it was not easy to work with. Problem is, making an all-fresh UI takes a lot of time. And that was a problem, because it was cutting into the budget of the entire game. It meant things like we couldn't just finish up what was planned, and had to start cutting because of that issue. So, sounds good doesn't work is, I think, a good summary.
Right. Yeah, that. I really wish there's a little bit more continuity between Halo Wars 1 and Halo Wars 2, but I think that's really hard to do when it's two different teams, two different console generations. Just it's really a completely different world between Halo Wars 1 and Halo Wars 2. Like some things I wish in 1, I wish were in 2, and vice versa.
Outpost constructed.
But if you had to pick, Halo Wars 1 or Halo Wars 2 is like a multiplayer suite. Well, which one would you pick?
Definitely twos. It's just more sophisticated. It's got like all these game modes, and the matchmaking is better, I think.
I think I
Maybe
just
not.
missed the aesthetic of 1. I think 1 really nails what a Halo game's supposed to look like and sound like, and I think Halo Wars 2 doesn't do that as well. But I still think it's obviously still a Halo game. It looks like Halo. It got heavily criticized on that reveal looking too cartoony. Was there ever talk about changing, or not the UI, I should say, the art
That's
style?
the art style, yeah.
Did
So
they ever talk about changing it?
no, because that was never the impression of the team. So when we saw like Reddit threads going like Halo art style is back in action, baby, that was what the team took away actually from that. For the record, Air is not OP because you can wiggle the reverse and they just won't get hit by Banshees. Like, it's freaking hilarious.
I always say Air is not. Yeah, I mean, I say this in videos. I'm sure you know this. They try one thing, it doesn't work. Then they try Air Master, and that doesn't work. They quit. and that's a typical Halo Wars player. I hate
Yep.
to insult the very audience that are probably like these gentlemen may end up watching the video, and I'm sorry, but it's just when you see it happen literally hundreds of times, you start making fun of it.
Yeah, if that was Phantoms though with the boys inside, that would be a very different story.
The boys,
The boys.
the men.
The gents.
Allies are attacking the enemy base.
Now they're playing. Now, what about vultures? Do you think vultures are OP?
I think they're OP against UNSC.
Right.
I think they're totally fair game against Banished. I mean, you got shields, you got cloak. It's so annoying. Something's got to break that. And if we didn't have vultures, tournaments games against Banished would last 2 hours or more.
Right. I mean, yeah, you had to have something.
Yeah, you have to have a game-ending option, and vultures are it. I think they're... I honestly think UNSC bases might be too easy to kill with them because you just shoot 6-7 nukes. That thing goes down.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I do wish you could protect those bases better.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be nice. But we
Well,
do need something to end games with.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do. But what you can do is buy a shirt. Thanks for watching.
Yep. Fire James.